How do you feel you would perform in bed with two females?
Well, I personally think I'm pretty good.
Do you think you could?
Her name is Sue Johanson, and for the last year and a half, she spent her Sunday evenings answering questions, every imaginable question about sex.
I'm interested in trying it, but I'm just wondering, like, what happens if I wake up the next morning and I got two of them looking me in the face, you know?
That's right, exactly.
Her audience is more than double the competition. They tell her things they'd never tell another living soul. She says the reason is simple.
Because they're desperate. They can't find anybody else that they can really open up to, who will trust, who will not put them down.
Let me tell you, she's so old, she hasn't done it in 30 years.
She couldn't talk to her own kids about sex, but now Sue talks to other people's kids by the hundreds.
I figure I've got about 15 seconds to establish credibility, to prove to you that I know what I'm talking about.
Today, it's grade 9 and 10s in Kitchener, one stop on a lecturing tour that takes her across the country. She says she doesn't condone sex. She says she deals with the reality. She's seen kids in trouble before.
Make sure, if you're going to be involved in sexual activity, you get a method that's going to work. Because 1 in 5 teenagers gets pregnant the first time she does it. Just make sure you are not amongst those statistics.
It's information they've all heard before, but it's agreed there's something about the way Sue tells it.
She made it fun and different from health class or something like that, where you have to learn it and then write a test on it. But here it was something that you could just listen to and think about.
Making kids think about the consequences of sex is what educators have tried to do for years. Dr. Marion Powell of the Bay Center for Birth Control says Sue can't stop kids from having sex.
But what she can do in a very amusing way is say it's okay to talk about it. It's okay. There are people who understand what you're going through as a teenager.
And how does she know what teenagers are going through?
It hasn't changed from when I was a teenager. It hasn't changed that much. We have not come a long way.
Sue's goal is to make sex as easy to talk about as last night's baseball scores. Her weekly show on Rogers Cablevision does elicit the odd call from angry parents, but Sue doesn't care. She knows kids are confused about sex. Her message is, if you're confused, don't do it. If you're going to do it safely.